38 drivers address themselves to the starting line, and the Würth 400 is underway.
William Byron holding really strong on that outside. That's impressive, Kevin.
Well, we had the truck race and Xfinity race here, and we saw that second lane. You got to be really careful right there up on the top early in this race.
He thought better of it, didn't he?
About 3/4 of the way through that corner in turn 4, that's where that biggest bump is, and you have to have the car pointed straight.
No surprise, Carson Hocevar, first career pole, hometown sponsor, big day for him. You knew he'd do everything he could to lead that first lap.
Well, as you saw in qualifying, he's not afraid to push the gas pedal down, and that's what it takes here at Texas. I think the biggest challenge for Carson and his team is going to be when we get into these cycles of pit stops and all the things start to happen that it takes to win these cup races on pit road and on the restart strategy, things like that. So the more you're up front, the more you get experience with that. These guys are going to get better and better at it.
Well, keeping that throttle down and keeping that track position, clean air out front was so important. And he won that battle so far. It's going to play dividends. Had trouble getting off of 2, though.
And Byron is there.
Yeah, he had trouble getting off of 2. I think got high, Kevin, had to lift and almost got passed by Byron.
Well, what happens a lot of times right there, you get these early laps with a lot of clean air and a lot of grip, but that car will take off. The exit of turn 2 flattens out really quickly, and if you get to that 3/4 mark around this corner right here and that car is a little bit too high, it's going to take off, and sometimes it will bite you because it will slide all the way into the wall.
Well, Carson Hocevar looks like he has spit out the bit. He has had the fastest lap on track every lap of this race, including the fastest lap of the race. Jamie, is there any holding him back?
I love what you said there. He's a young colt. He's leading this race for the first time. I'm listening to his radio, and they're just telling him, don't overdrive it. You know, he ran the truck race on Friday night, and that really allowed him to know what to expect with this track and how it's going to change.
Spinner in turn 2, and it is Gregson. And that'll be the first caution flag of the day at lap 21.
You're good. Leaders just into 3.
You see him right behind Suarez up here, rolling into turn 1, looking to the outside. Tricky to get up there high early. Thing just came around on him.
Yeah, and that's the tricky part about this car. You saw one low, he was right on the right rear quarter panel of the 99, and then there was another car spaced right in front of him. So,
and Denny Hamlin did not stop because they used code words and somebody didn't understand something. So he came in the second time around. Penalties. Over the wall too soon, Ty Dillon's crew, and speeding, John Hunter Nemechek and Ryan Blaney. 2 Fords on the front row as we go back to green.
Really late start there in that restart zone. That's not the normal, but Austin definitely mixed it up right there, taking off late.
Eric Jones rolling that outside, great, 3 wide.
Yeah, we got a battle for the lead on the outside as well. See Josh Berry giving Austin Cindric all he can handle in that second groove. All those guys want to get down into that. You see that 17 car hit that bump right there, Clint. Had to check up.
That was about as big as it gets right there. Hocevar in the back of him. What, about 180 mile an hour? Little love tap, get you some.
Yeah, I guess since we're in Dallas Cowboy country, that's the terminology, because Austin Cindric, Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, that's 2 right side tires only.
Did he hit the wall there?
It was very close. Austin Cindric got tight off of turn 4 there, Larry. Sorry to interrupt you there, but he got really tight, and he all but hit the wall off turn 4. And he's holding this pack up right now. You can definitely tell that the 21 and 17 cars are better, and
he's gained 11 spots. Make that 12 since the restart.
He's going to be your leader here before long. Cindric is in trouble in the wake of that lap car. Cannot do anything.
Yeah, and that's like I say, that's going to be because of those 2 tires, and now he doesn't have that clean air, and Tyler Reddick's going to go on by. Denny Hamlin in trouble.
Reddick looking for the lead on Austin Cindric with 7 to go in stage 1.
Yeah, you see him pull right up right there. He knew how important it was to not let Josh Berry get to his right rear. Now he's going to get to the right rear of that 2 car.
I think Hamlin blew up. That's exactly what happened to that car.
Hamlin has lost power coasting around the racetrack.
Oh, Clint.
I'd say the oil pan just blew
Hold
up.
it right there, lock it down.
And that is the second caution of the day. This one for Denny Hamlin.
Big fire. Big
going up in
Big
flames.
fire out of the right side pipe.
Not the Texas barbecue that 11 team wanted to see. Wow.
Yeah, he needs to stop.
And bail.
That thing finally let go right there. It grenaded. You don't see, that's oil pan failure right there. You don't see that too much in today's day and age. Lower end stuff.
Yeah, you see the smoke coming out of the front fenders up there, Clinton. The interesting thing was he had slowed down so much. Those are really interesting flames that I don't know if that's oil or not.
Well, it's blue smoke before.
Yeah.
Safety violation on the number 20. He'll also start in the back as we are back to green.
Yeah, we see a great start there by Josh Berry. Actually, see Kyle Larson pull down to make sure that Tyler Reddick wasn't going to pull to the inside of him. A lot of speedy dry down there on the bottom.
Bradway up high again. Didn't work out this time for gaining spots. And by the way, Berry, the graphic was incorrect. He did take 4 tires on that pit stop. Larson to the bottom. Second place.
Whoa,
Man.
Briscoe, hold on to it. This isn't going to be good.
Around he goes, and caution waves.
And that all happened over that bump. The higher you go up the racetrack, he was the 3rd car up in the top. The higher you go over the racetrack, and especially on low tires, like Larry showed us at the beginning of the race, that's when these cars bottom out. And that's exactly what happened right there. And that car is, you saw the flames come out of the pipe, Clint. He has already lifted.
It's obviously worse as it goes up because the 60 hit the same thing. You saw when they both bottomed out, you know, the smoke come out from underneath both cars where they bottomed out on the racetrack.
Yeah, and that could have been a lot worse for Riley Herbst right there. Luckily, he was able to keep that car straight. Could have hooked him right into the fence.
It would have been probably a day-ending problem for the 19 had Herbst not have been there. It kind of saved him.
Well, and it leaves Toyotas in now 4 of the last 5 positions, counting Denny Hamlin, who's off the track, and Christopher Bell, who's had a couple of trips pit side. Jamie?
Yes, he has. It's been a rough sequence of events. He came down at the end of the stage to pit, and they had a safety violation. So they brought him back in, and he said, can you guys reconnect my air hose for the cooling system? So you see they went in the right side. They made an adjustment, let him go. Well, then they didn't connect it all the way. Had to come back in, and you see this mechanic goes in there completely, and it took about 15 to 20 seconds, maybe even a little bit longer. So now Bell will restart 34th.
Now you're going to see the side drafting game start.
He's going to have a handful. Will he decide to go for it and stay on that outside or fall back in line?
His middle name is outside.
Yeah, you
and
see
that's where he runs.
Yeah, you see that car in the second lane of Kyle Larson's. You know, you still have to be pretty careful. The bump is not as bad as what we saw with Chase Briscoe, but definitely still gets your attention on these low air pressure tires.
Look what those cars running side by side did for Cindric, though. Allowed him to pull right back up on them.
Yeah, you see Larson get tight right there and have to go all the way up the racetrack. Allows Josh Berry to clear him for the lead.
Josh Berry back on point from Larson. Reddick on the outside. Cindric on the bottom, and a lap ago, Hocevar almost gave a side slam into William Byron as they battle right behind the leaders for 6th.
Yeah, watch this. He gets loose behind Reddick here. Big time loose. Wow, that's as close as it gets. He just about sold the farm there.
Ty Gibbs battling Michael McDowell. A couple of cars both had good qualifying efforts. Both started in the top 10. Both have been racing in the top 10 all day long.
What a turnaround this year has been for Ty Gibbs and company on the 54 car, marching their way back up through the points. They're going to be knocking on the door. They came into this race only 25 points out of the playoffs. They might leave in the playoffs.
Spinner, Josh Berry turns
your leader.
We were expecting green flag pit stops, but that won't be necessary.
That
lapper
caution was trying to pass that lapper running high on the racetrack. I think he got into that bump again, just like we saw the last caution with Briscoe, Kevin. We'll have to see. Oh my gosh. Driving off into the sunset he was.
All the way above that hash mark right there, bottom out. And as soon as it bottoms out, the car comes out from underneath you. And as a driver, you get so comfortable, especially when your car is driving as good as Josh Berry's car was. You get so comfortable in being able to put that throttle down. But that bump will take those tires out from underneath you, and that car will be around backwards before you even know it.
Race for the lead is heating up. Reddick, we talked about it. Kevin, you were all over it. I think he can run him down. Yes, sir. 29.04 to a 29.12. Reddick's driving right to the bumper of the 5. And what can he do with it?
Well, what's going to happen right here is Kyle Larson's going to say, okay,
there it is.
Tyler Reddick caught me in this particular line, and I am going to run that line. And,
little mirror driving.
And then Tyler Reddick says, okay, well, you're going to run that line. I'm going to switch. So now that cat and mouse game begins of where you're going to go. Oh, man.
That's
Chris Buescher.
Car.
Right rear tire's flat.
How much it is?
Caution is not out yet.
No,
Still green.
He's going to get it down on the apron and kind of out of harm's way here. If there is a caution, it would be for debris, but he's got to go half a lap now to get to pit road.
Well, that's
that thing comes apart.
He's hoping that tire comes apart and the carcass goes up on the racetrack. He wants that tire to come apart to get that caution.
He was in third when that happened.
There it went. Did it roll up on the track? It is on the track.
Caution. Throw that caution.
Not yet.
They're going to have to.
They got to throw it.
Better see it.
Not yet.
Still not. There it is.
Caution.
That was a saving grace for Chris Buescher. You were all over that. So right.
If you wish hard enough, it'll happen.
But you also use that car as suspension.
Listen to this.
Yeah, he felt it and let off. Oh, he hit the wall.
Yeah, I said he hit. I saw it. Pretty hard too, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, and as hard as those cars hit right there, and you look at that splitter damage and the fender damage, that'll pretty much probably end William Byron's day as far as the way that the car is performing.
Well, that two-tire stop, you saw those right sides go rolling by. That put him in that situation where that car was coming around a lot sooner.
And let's see how long he can hold the lead with a car where the steering angle is off just a bit.
Might not be as bad as they thought. Bubba Wallace, he's wrecked.
Big contact.
Well,
and he catches
off the ground. This is the big one.
Gregson, Bowman up and into the wall, and Allmendinger collected, and more.
Oh. He was.
Well, that's the big one we didn't have last week.
That guy was late to the party.
Yeah, the 20.
See the flaps catch and watch this car come up. The flaps catch and did their job. Put it right back down on the ground.
Yeah, it doesn't look like from that angle that the 22 was on that back bumper, but when those cars are all jammed up and one's right there on that left rear like that, hey, that 24 car has done nothing but surprise me with the damage that it has on that splitter and everything that he has going on. I'm surprised that he's even able to do anything.
On to it, Chase.
Elliott gets high, gets tight.
Well, that's where Rick Hendrick's got to hold his breath with 3 of his cars in the top 4, now top 5.
Well, and there was a massive stack up right there or something that shook all those cars up because Ty Gibbs went by the 77 and the 45. As you see Ryan Blaney go through the middle right there.
Thread the needle, baby. Let's go.
Wow, may the 4th be with you. Here comes Blaney.
Yeah, and he definitely believes that the 4th is with him.
Yes.
It is.
Huge Star Wars
for good reason.
William Byron's car is starting to fade.
He's stacking them up big time behind them. They're all starting to stack up. Larson moving around trying to make a move.
Kyle Larson got a huge runoff turn 2. Just flew right up to Cindric in the back straightaway. Tried the bottom, went to the top.
And Cindric does not want this pass to be complete because they all know that the 24 car is in trouble and they want to be the first one behind him. So Kyle Larson did a great job right there of taking that momentum and finishing this pass off.
You have to be careful when you catch these guys. Catch them at the right time. If you catch them where you have to just put it right behind them, it really stacks you up. You have to get on the brakes. You lose the front wheels. The car gets tight. You have to slow down, and they all come on you.
And it cost him 3 positions.
Hendrick Chevy's fighting it out at the front. Larson and Byron.
I am getting fired up. You don't have to look back any farther. Look, we talk about Gibbs all weekend long. Ty Gibbs, the speedy he had in there, and I cannot believe this Ryan Blaney is right there in the conversation for the lead.
Well, he needs to finish this pass quickly because being side by side has pulled Ryan Blaney right back up to him, so he needs to finish it right here.
Well, William Byron's on pit road, kind of wondering if maybe that should have been something he could have addressed under the caution flag, but why give up the front row if you're going to restart there? So here he is. Pit stops continue. Ryan Preece. And crash goes the 62. Jesse Love's race is going to come to an end right here, and caution will be out.
That's going to cost some of these guys. Preece. Talked about Byron has been on pit road.
Reddick around the outside for 5th place.
Oh, 3 to the 43, 6 behind him.
How about Michael McDowell? We thought with 2 tires he would just fade toward the back. He is right in Larson's tire tracks in second spot and holding on to it.
Well, and that guy right behind him, Kyle Busch, we know how hungry he is to get his car back in victory lane.
Oh no! Around he goes and into the wall in turn 4.
All right, let it roll, you're good. You got him.
And Ricky Stenhouse, who fired off 14th on that restart, went for a big slide through the ball field between pit road and the front straightaway.
There it is. See
That's where it starts.
Dust fly out of the car. Man, he was close, but Stenhouse almost clipped him when he came back across the racetrack.
One of our champs right there, Joey Logano, as it gets wild back here.
Look out. Not a good angle to the entrance.
A lot of blocking.
Now Zane Smith drops to the bottom. Stenhouse trying to move around the outside. Stenhouse up to 11th. Logano going after Reddick for 4th.
Reddick, he continues to try to make that second lane work up there.
Back straightaway crash. Priest hard on the wall with Hocevar and Cody Ware. 10th caution of the day.
Pushing him higher and higher up the corner. Hocevar's tight. He's probably out of the gas by now.
Yeah.
Priest gets into the wall.
Hocevar
I'll turn him over.
Yeah, Hocevar just kept coming up the racetrack right there and
run him out of room,
got the 60 out of room and got himself wrecked after the 60 wreck.
Easy to do in turn 2.
So easy when those cars take off onto the flat like that.
All right, let's ride with Ryan Priest.
Not another bad jump for Blaney.
Well, Michael McDowell's clear.
How about this?
Well, I'm interested to see what happened in the restart box right there.
Didn't see that coming. Up the racetrack, way up the racetrack.
Oh my goodness, they let Ryan Blaney pass both of them.
What has happened to Larson? He is in trouble.
Trouble back straightaway, and it is Custer, Keselowski, Kyle Busch, and Cindric.
Just talking about Brad needing a good run here and capping this day off with the positive points.
Yeah, now it's broke.
Good grief. And Blaney with the run down the back straightaway. Edge is ahead.
Not so fast.
McDowell stuffs it into turn 3 on the bottom.
McDowell clear. How about this, Kevin?
Well, you just never know what clean air is going to do to this car. And that grit and determination by Michael McDowell. Now you see Joey Logano on the inside of Ryan Blaney.
Teammates battling for second.
And Mr. Where did he come from? Chastain is in the picture.
To let that 22 car run that second lane and then be able to put that car in position. But Joey's there.
Big run for Logano off turn 2. Drops to the bottom. McDowell all the way down to the white line to block, and he has to gain control of the car and give up the lead.
He's going to lose second, too. Oh, he's
in the wall. Michael McDowell crashes off Calamity Corner.
Huge hit. Blaney completes the pass, gets in front of him, and he crosses that wake much like a boat. Look at that. As soon as it got in there, took the air off of him.
It got loose. It got loose.
It's just like a wake of a boat. It's how I explain the draft behind these cars. And as soon as he got that, look at that. Right as soon as that car pulled up in front of him, takes the air off of him.
Yep.
Came around. Side of the equation for the Penske cars.
It'll be 2 laps to go. Green flag.
Man, they stacked them up. That's as tight as the whole field has been.
Pretty slow start, wasn't he?
Whoa, Ty Gibbs squirreled around there, but saves it. A lot of action in the back, up front, side by side, but Logano pulls away. Here comes Chastain. He's to the inside of Blaney and is going by for second.
Yeah, you see Ricky Stenhouse in the middle right there for 4th place.
Larson and Jones surround him.
Never lifted.
Logano 5th at the flag last week, disqualified for a missing nut on the spoiler brace. Redeems it all right here around turn 3 and 4. Joey Logano will get his 37th win. The AAA Ford for Roger Penske will go to victory lane.
Way to go, guys. Yeah.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.